Welcome everyone to another session of Crituitous RP. Thank you very much for joining us this week as we're getting closer to the climax and the finale. Previously, our adventurers, following Artir's personal story arc, headed with their new castle into the land of Tethir. Flying slowly but surely towards their destination, they took a pit stop, captured a dangerous criminal, went and presented him, plus some other gifts, to the Queen to gain the Queen's trust. And last week was a lot of Artir getting to know the Queen, learning a little bit more about her, and her learning more about him and his history, particularly his relationship with his mother. We've mentioned previously that his mother, through tricks and various diabolical schemes, used Artir for her own benefit, tricked other people using him, and ultimately left him to rot and hang out when he needed her the most. So as we get closer and closer to that moment, the party headed towards Castle Tethir. Their goal was to capture the wagon full of items that had recently been stolen from Daramar. The Viper had given them information indicating that the goods were being taken to one Menemisi Rabti in Castle Tethir. So the party go, find the wagon. Took them a bit of time to find it, but eventually they did manage to get it, kill the people holding it, and then take control of the wagon. We now rejoin them as they are about to enter Castle Tethir. How are you guys approaching this? You know that the wagon driver, the criminal that was leading the wagon, has, or at least had, the goal, the intention to drop off the wagon at a dead drop, collect his pay, and then leave. What do you guys want to do?
Were we able to find any maps on the persons in the wagon indicating the location of this dead drop?
Yes, you would. So Castle Tethir is mostly ruins right now. You still have the remnants of the old castle wall, the fortifications that would protect the nobility from those laying siege. But inside, just past the walls, the castle is pretty much non-existent, and it's gone. It's just a building site at this point. The information that you have instructs you to go to the western side of Castle Tethir through one of the openings in the fortification, not one of the broken, ruined entrances, but you need to find specifically the last intact entrance to the fortifications. Inside there is where he would place the wagon, collect his dead drop, and then leave underneath the shelter of this entrance to the fortification. Okay.
Well, it seems like we have a destination in common. We were heading to the castle, and this dead drop is apparently right there. Do we wish to be to appear like these individuals?
Loic, you can make us look differently, right?
Yes.
That we do not need to necessarily sneak up. They're expecting this wagon.
And there were 5 of them?
Yep, there were 5 of them.
So 5 of us could take their appearance and just ride in with the cart, right?
So I think, so obviously we want to recover whatever they were meaning to be paid with. Do we wish to then ambush the people that come for the wagon? Or do we wish to just travel through this fortification and see if we can find the villain?
Well, if we did make eye contact with the people, and we wouldn't have to engage them necessarily, but if I did get eyes on them, I could then change our appearances to look like them, and we'd have the ability to, in the open, wander the grounds. Potentially, depending on how many people come for it. But even if not, I can probably duplicate the appearance of somebody else that's walking around.
And so I guess my question is, should we wait after we have dropped off the wagon to see these people? And if we do wait, should we apprehend them or kill them or...
Well, these are stolen goods that they would be fencing, right?
One would think.
So what would the Queen have of us? We're not in the policing business. This isn't our land. We're not exactly here to enforce law and order. But we are trying to get in the Queen's good graces.
They're treasonous. Kill them.
I think this would be in line with what the Queen would want. I am happy to make an example so that fewer people are so emboldened as to steal from the Queen and the Crown. Our primary and singular objective, as tasked with by the Queen, is to bring in this Menamisi Rabti fellow. And even then, we don't have to bring him in. We could just kill him. But I would rather keep him alive and find out who his co-conspirators are, if any.
So we launch an ambush so we can find someone who can tell us where Metamisi is, and then we go get Metamisi. Unless there's something, I mean, I'm a pretty straightforward guy, I know. But...
We see eye to eye.
We'll probably want to do this subtly. So, Ozarin, if you would be so kind as to prepare a spell of silence.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I was going to say, if there's only 5 and there's 6 of us and Jack, would it make sense that me and Jack stay out of the way, stealth? Because we can be pretty stealthy, and it means you can then go.
They're expecting 5 of us.
Yeah.
There's technically 6. He looks at Jack. What if one of us hides in the car?
I'm very little and easy to hide. Put a blanket over me and we're good.
And where would Jack go?
Jack can be... Well,
just have him stay very still and we'll pass him off as a rug.
You can lie down.
I was going to say he can take the place of the horse.
The horse is still here.
Polymorph.
but yeah, we could do that.
Okay, so
right.
we travel as if we are the caravanners. We collect the items that were collect the reward that was meant for the legitimate caravanners. Then we hide somewhere and lie in wait and find out who comes to gather the wagon contraband.
I'm just going to throw it out there. If we could place Danric on inside the caravan and they could possibly take the caravan and take it to wherever their base is, we have then the possibility of scrying on Danric, or Danric can get himself out. He has that ability and come tell us where it is. He looks a little man. I've got total confidence in you.
Well, it might be misplaced, but I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, I think that could work. I'm all about it. I'll be the man on the inside.
So the advantage of our stealthy approach is that we can potentially avoid bringing in others into the confrontation who may be acting in defense of this noble of Tathir who have no knowledge of his illicit doings. So I would prefer to do this to avoid bringing innocents into this confrontation. But it is not the most important thing. The most important thing is getting Menamisi.
Okay.
So what's the plan?
Well, Loic, you can polymorph, right?
Yeah.
How many people can you polymorph? Okay, well, someone can hang out with Danric as a mouse.
If we don't have to, let's not. I would have to concentrate the entire time, and to change us all to have a different appearance also requires quite a bit of concentration.
I can polymorph into a bat.
You can't quite polymorph into a bat.
Yeah, I can.
While you are in shadows and in darkness because of the cloak of the bat, you can't actually transform and become a bat.
Yeah, I can.
And it doesn't last forever.
It lasts as long as the polymorph spell does.
Right.
And I mean, shadows aren't hard to create. He can just go underneath the wagon, and then he's in a shadow.
I have two options with that cloak. It's I can fly in darkness or dim light by grabbing the corners, or I have the option, if I'm in darkness and dim light, to cast a polymorph spell and become a bat. I don't have to stay in darkness or dim light while I'm in that. I only need to be in it to cast it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Correct. Thank you. Sorry for that. Thank you for correcting me.
And you do have a friend who can summon darkness instantaneously.
So I could be underneath. I could hide underneath the wagon, and then when we're there, wait for somebody to arrive, turn into a bat, follow them. If they open up the thing, I'll just fly away and then pursue them for an hour.
I would like this more than Danric by his lonesome, or to have multiple people in the wagon, Danric and another person, because while Danric is amazing, I do not wish for his diminutive frame to come into harm's way. I hope I do not offend you, my friend. It's just that
I love you too, Archer. We're good.
So either the big beefy Aaron go and conceal himself as a bat, or more than one person, or Danric and one other person would go in the back of the wagon. This is, I think, a good either or. Does anyone have a preference?
Let's have Aaron turn into a bat, and he and Danric can carry on, and the rest of us using Osrin's excellent tracking and Loic's superior arcane knowledge, combined with Artier's divine connection to the gods, I think we would be able to follow them okay. And I'll just follow up the rear because I don't have any of those things.
But you have big guns, so if anything goes wrong...
Which is why I'll be in the rear.
Okay, doc, I think we have a plan.
Okay, all right. So, taking the cart, you guys begin making your way over towards the castle. You had spent most of the day searching for this cart, so the sun is getting close to setting. It's not quite nighttime yet. You got maybe an hour or two before the sun is going to set by the time you arrive at the castle. Following the instructions, you then shift around to the western side, where you will see let me grab all of this. You will see a crude old fortification lining the wall, and you'll search for the breaks in it that are natural and unnatural, and you will find the entrance that is the official entrance to the fortifications, leading everything in. Your instruction would be to just ride the cart into the fortification.
So prior, just in case they've got eyes watching on this, I would suggest that me and Danric were inside and already concealed. We're packed in low.
And before we get, I mean, as we're going in, I'm going to cast Enhance Ability Dexterity for us. So we'll have advantage on stealth checks for the next, I think, hour. Yeah, for the next hour. It's concentration, and so that's going to be cast as, I'm going to cast it as level 4, but only for the two of us, because I'm out of level 3 spell slots right now.
Okay, so
Can I cast Primal Awareness as well, just to see if I can tell who's there behind there before we head in?
Yep.
I can sense anybody.
So using your senses, the primeval awareness, there is no one in there.
Okay.
There's no one anywhere near this entrance to the fortification at all. Your senses do pick up that there are humanoids on the other side of the castle structure.
Okay.
And you can sense quite a few. There's a little a homestead. There's quite a few small houses that are set up there. And you can sense lots of different people within those areas. But no one in the immediate vicinity. Okay. So what do you guys do once the cart is in that little alcove? In fact, roll perception. Everyone roll perception.
I'm in the cart.
Oh, you're back.
We're in the cart trying. I'm not the back yet. Because it's only an hour. I'm waiting until I hear somebody approach.
Okay.
I have advantage.
Loic and Artir and Osrin as well. As the cart is coming in, you will see that whereas most of this landscape is mostly more of a sand, dirt kind of landscape, the wagon tilts up ever so slightly as a wheel crosses over a more firmer point in the sand underneath it. So you can see that there's definitely something that one of the wheels just shifts over before it can fit snugly inside that alcove.
Either this is where the wagon is supposed to be, or I think we just rolled over our dead drop area to where we claim our reward.
What do you mean?
The wealth that was promised for this wagon of goods. Let me look under there and see if I can get whatever it is that we just rolled over.
Allow me to help
You rolled
you.
over something?
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
brush the sand aside, and together you see a large trapdoor opening. Huge golden-colored ring on handle on a wooden platform. Give it a good pull.
I just opened
It
that up, yeah.
opens Yeah. Opens up, and inside is a small pouch. Leather-bound, definitely a bag of coin.
Well, this is where we hide.
Can-
Obviously.
Can we fit it
The
there?
box is
How
only
big is this
about
hole?
Oh,
a
okay.
2 foot by 2 foot. It's definitely a
Well, this is where
storage
Danrick
cupboard.
hides,
Danrick
obviously.
can.
Okay, well,
I'm
I guess
lying in wait, setting a trap.
this is what we came for. I pour it out into my hands. What do I have?
You have, rough guess with your trained eye, exactly 726 gold pieces,
Give or take.
give or take. And you're pretty sure that one of those gold pieces in that group is probably misvalued because it's not actually the right thickness and the weight. But there are 726 gold coins.
I will split this up later. Can I look around? Is there an appropriate place to hide, or is there a path further into the town suggesting that we are welcome to visit?
Yeah. So we'll keep your perception check running, and your passive is nice and high for this anyway. The area around here is particularly less traveled, as most people enter and exit the castle through some of the more obvious entrances. There are some footsteps that you can see that work their way towards and away from this little alcove. And you can see grooves where carts have previously cut through the sand. But you can tell that attempts have been made to hide the path, as not long after the grooves move away from the inside of the fortification, they start crisscrossing and mismatching with a bunch of other wagon path and trails. So it becomes very difficult to tell where these paths should end up going. There aren't any people on this side of the castle right now. It's confirmed by Osrin's primeval awareness. It seems that people have all started packing up to go to their homesteads, and everyone in the vicinity is inside their home. To what degree she can sense. In terms of hiding places and vantage points, you could, once you're inside, easily climb up on top of the fortifications, which would give you a slight, maybe 2-foot lip that you can hide behind, as the fortification is a crenellated, I think that's the word, usual fortification that you can hide below. Other than that, just ruins generally will give you more than enough cover.
Osrin, does this look like a good spot? A vantage point for which to watch over the wagon and find or see approaching persons?
Yeah, I mean, I can still cast silence. I'm just wondering what my range is on silence. I think it's 30 feet, isn't it? Or is it more than that?
120.
Is that
It's 120 foot, and it creates a 20-foot radius sphere.
Okay. So no, I think we're fine as long as we're going to all be well within that. So everybody kind of pick a spot, I imagine.
Well, is our goal to ambush the people who come, or to let them come and take the things? Or to play it by ear? If they try to investigate what's in the wagon, then we kill them. If not, we let them go. How do we want to play
Behind a pile
that?
of paintings, you'll hear the voice of Aaron going, let's see how far we can get, but just cover us in case it all goes wrong and they discover us.
Okay, so we will lie in wait and let them take the wagon. If they try to investigate the wagon, then we attack. Sound good?
Okay. So you all take various different positions to give yourself a vantage point. The alcove that the wagon is in is about 20 foot long, deep. There's only about a 5 foot on either side of the wagon space to walk past it. And it's a curved archway that you guys could possibly see. Well, you will see the entrances of if you're on top of, or any vantage point around. So it doesn't give too much cover unless you're right inside the wagon. Okay.
How high up is the crenellation?
30 foot high.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get up there with Osrin.
From inside the wagon, can we actually see anything, or are we pretty much not aware of what's going on right now while we're in here?
That depends on how well you're hiding yourself. Are you making a point to be completely hidden, and which point you can't see, or are you going to risk being seen by creating some vantage point that you can look through?
I think what Danric is going to do is I'll peek out real quick when everybody's like making their position, so I can get a spot of what's around in case things go south. I can dimension door us up to a vantage point where we can go to safety, and then reapproach. But I mean, that'll be based on me actually knowing something's going wrong. But he's gonna keep an eye out on the surroundings before he goes in and actually hides.
All right, and since Erin is the one in the wagon with you, correct?
Yes.
You're going to have to prepare to cast Enlarge on yourself before Dimension Dooring.
Well, if I turn to a bat.
Yeah. So you polymorph into a bat first. He can then Dimension Door with the bat in his pocket. Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
I will.
But,
where
to
Gamel
answer
sets
your
up.
question, Aaron will not try and hide too much. But he wants to see them approach, and when they do approach, he will then polymorph into the small thing. So yeah, I'm hidden, but I'm trying to be aware of a perception to be aware.
Will you be able to see me? Because as soon as I sense somebody approaching, I can just wave and say how many.
Maybe I'll do that then. Maybe if there's a way of seeing you. If there's not,
there's a hole in the.
There's not a way to be able to see it unless you get out of the alcove. There's no way you can see anyone on top of.
Aaron will be able to sense, hopefully, before something turns up.
Okay.
Gamma will find a dark corner a ways off where he can observe, and then cast darkness on the rifle. So he's in even more dark than dark, and hopefully harder to see and spot.
Okay. All right. So, Osrin, your primeval awareness gives you an ability to be able to sense humanoids around you. It takes a minute to attune yourself to the senses, and then you get that information. You can't just always be watching.
Okay.
So mechanically, the way you're going to be doing it is you're going to be spending a minute snapshot information, a minute snapshot information, and so on. Using that, you can track people's movements because people don't move much within a minute, and you will still be able to see people as they approach or sense them. But just so you know, you're not watching someone approach, you're just getting images of shifting positions. Okay. I would like perception checks from everyone and also stealth checks from everyone.
Do any of us get advantage on either of those because of setups?
Not quite. It'll affect the rolls of the opponents in situations. Okay.
Just out of curiosity, does cover give you increase to stealth?
It's not that it gives you increase. Stealth is more than just line of sight. It's also sound and it's motion, that kind of thing. So while you can cover one of those by line of sight, the others are still an issue. You're not completely invisible, so you don't have the advantage that a creature that is invisible would have. But at least you get a little bit of a buff, right?
We do have, Aaron and I have advantage because of the enhance ability, the Cat's Grace,
Yep.
that I cast before we went in. So at least there's that on the roll.
On stealth, not perception.
Oh, correct. Yeah, but for all of the dexterity rolls.
And Artier's passive is 11, which is better than what he rolled.
Okay. So in terms of stealth checks, I have 13 from Artier. Gamel got a 10. Danrik got a 28. Loic got a 9. Okay. Osrin, you're doing your snapshots. After about an hour of waiting, after the sun has gone down, still no movement.
Okay.
You guys continue to wait and watch. Still no motion that anyone can see until 2 hours after sundown has passed. Then, Osrin, your snapshots notice a small group, 3 individuals, moving out of one homestead.
Okay.
And they move slowly. Your current position. 3 medium-sized humanoids make their way up towards you. Your senses pick them up. They're within 100 feet of you.
Right.
Did anyone roll a perception check higher than a 25?
No.
Okay.
I was close to the 24, but that's it.
You're close, but no.
I know
Alright.
Stephen got 25.
Stephen?
Stealth.
No,
This is stealth.
Oh, no,
Ah,
no.
I got 25 even, though I didn't get higher than 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, 25 is the DC on this. They rolled they had a pretty good stealth check. All right. So, Osrin, you can see, or senses pick up 3 humanoids within close distance.
Okay.
Danrik can hear the crunching sound of the sand being crushed from outside the wagon. They are close. No one else can see a thing.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna kind of nudge Aaron to kind of give him a little heads up, like something's coming. See if I can pass that message quietly along to him, just so he knows to be on guard.
Right. Question.
Mm-hmm.
Using an item to cast a polymorph spell, does that still require somatic and components that would require, or is it just me activating the object?
Typically speaking, what we have said before is that while using any sort of medium that would cast a spell, you still have to perform the verbal and somatic components, because that provides the opponents the opportunity to counterspell or counteract it.
That's absolutely fine.
I cast silence yet, though. Oh,
I
that's true.
haven't got polymorph as one of my spells. So is that verbal or is it somatic or something?
Let me just grab it. Polymorph.
It's vism.
It's all three.
It's all three. Okay.
Which your cloak is the material components for it. Okay. You just need to cast the verbal and somatic components.
Right. So with a nudge, would and Aaron's passive perception being what it is, would that be enough for him to sense that there's something close or not?
What is your passive perception?
21.
No. You know that there should be something nearby, but when you look out, you don't see anything.
Okay.
Osrin, they're at this point now 100 foot away from you all.
Okay. I
Stood out in the open.
don't know. All right, I'll cast it then. Not being aware, I'm thinking that Aaron doesn't realize that they're that close, and that Danric has noticed something that he hasn't, so he's going to cast it.
They continue to walk closer to the wagon, as it's evident they have not sensed any of you.
Okay.
Either.
Can everyone now see them, or I'm just wondering if I can see anybody, because I was going to be up high, so can Loic see me so I can kind of see
You
free?
can feel them, but you can't see them.
No, but I kind of waved at this free.
So
Point.
in your mind, you can sense their presence. You know that they're there. In fact, your primeval awareness kind of hints to, you can see where their footprints might be.
Yeah.
These are definitely invisible individuals.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So something is making them invisible, which is why you guys aren't able to see them as they're approaching.
Can anyone see me though? So anyone in our party see me?
Everyone that's on top of the fortification can, which is
Okay.
Loic, Gamel is up there. Artir, are you up there as well?
James.
Yep. So it's everyone except Danric and Artir.
So I look to you three, and just be like,
Technically, I'm like 10 feet away, and you don't see me so much as a blob of impenetrable darkness.
I aim my direction towards the blob.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like
So-
at this point we would recognize the blob of darkness as you more than actually do. You've changed appearance like
That's
3
right.
times this game, but the
That's
darkness
right.
is consistent.
Okay, Gamel. The glob, big, 15-foot radius sphere?
10 foot.
10-foot radius sphere. You're on top of a crenellation with a 3-foot wall. There is
Well, I
going
was
to
trying
be a
to get-
dome of darkness.
I was trying to get positioned in a place where it would be unobtrusive, the darkness.
Okay.
If there isn't such a place, I'll drop it.
Yeah, not on top. Behind, maybe, if you would suspect that they would come in from behind, but
Is there
not
a
on-
place I could have a view of the entrance without obscuring stuff in an unnatural orb of darkness?
Yes.
Then that's where I am.
Okay. Cool. All right.
You don't know
Uh,
anybody's there whatsoever.
So these 3 individuals walk up to the wagon. Unless anyone does anything to them, they're going to walk around. The next snapshot is they're getting onto the wagon.
Okay, that's it. That's our cue. They're messing with the wagon.
No, the queue is if they investigate the wagon. They're taking the wagon, we follow the wagon.
That was the plan.
Yeah, because if they
At this
take the
point,
wagon, then
are we
we'll
aware
come
that they're on the right wagon? Because I imagine the movement of the wagon's going to, like...
You two are, yes.
Yeah.
You guys, with working together, you know that there are creatures there. Physically, you can't see them, but you know that there are creatures there. You hear the creaking of the wood. 2 creatures now sat on top of the wagon. A third stood behind. And they walk the wagon out of the alcove. You all staying where you are, and like you two staying inside, and everyone else following them?
Well, I'm going to follow Osrin.
Okay.
Right. So keeping your distance back, your guys' stealth checks are more than enough. That you're keeping yourself far enough back that these guys aren't expecting to see someone waiting for them. After about 20 minutes of slowly moving the cart through, which to everyone else's view is a cart moving just because the horse is pulling it, the individuals now come into physical focus. 3 humans. Colorful clothing, very ornate looking, definitely fancy clothes on the top of armor, though, as they continue to wheel this wagon around towards the eastern side of the city. Keeping back, you'll see that as they approach the eastern side, there are 4 different major houses that you can see. There's a bunch of different little tents that people are sleeping at, but there are 4 different major locations. The one, they head off to the largest of the 4, and they go and park the wagon just outside the front door. And then off they get, walk around the back of the house, and in through the door. What do you guys do? You know that the wagon is now there in the house.
Aaron's gonna try and... I don't know where I am. I don't know if like Damrick's picked me up or anything, but he's going to try and move and slowly crawl out. As a bat, I'm gonna. Is there an open window or anything he can?
So it's dark. It's difficult to see the house and the shape of it. It is a 1-story building made primarily out of sandstone. There are no glass windows, but there are plenty of openings. That would be windows. You have a main doorway, which is a big wooden door, iron bindings that hold it to the stone. And then on either side, and then dotted around 2 openings on each wall are openings into the building proper. There is light shining from inside.
Okay, as a bat, I'm going to sort of fly to the top of the roof, and I believe a bat has blind sight up to 6 feet. Can I get a sense of what's going on inside?
So the way Bat's blind sight works, obviously, is echolocation.
Yep.
So you're going to have to get into a position where you can use the echolocation to go through a window and sense everything.
No, fine. Okay, I'm
Go
gonna
find an open window. It's hot down here. People keep
I'm
windows open.
gonna do a flight round there, and I want to view a path. Like, is there like an open window on one side and an open window on the other? And I'm just gonna, if there is, I want to just fly through, do a circle, and then fly, like I'm a lost bat in the night, and then I'm gonna fly out the other side.
Okay.
They might swat you.
I'm gonna fly nice and high.
Well, if he gets spotted, he'll turn into normal Aaron, and then we'll have to bust in the front door, home invasion style.
Well, while Aaron's flying around, how close can we get? And could we creep up to the house, up to one of the windows, and if needs be, I could cast silence then just on anybody who wants to come up close to try and... I'm just wondering if we can get any closer.
That's up to you. You feel fairly confident. I mean, 3 individuals walked right up to you and then past you, so you feel fairly confident that your behavior is quiet. But if you do anything else, like if you do too much activity, you know you'll be breaking that stealth.
Okay.
Aaron, doing a flyby around using the echolocation to map out the inside with every window. It is mostly one large open house. There is a private bedchamber that is off to the side, but no one is in it right now. You come around to the front and the back, and you can see those three common individuals who had taken the wagon knelt down, speaking to a lordly individual sat in a chair while his guards are stood watch. They're reporting that the latest shipment has arrived. So,
at this point,
this is you just flying around the outside.
Okay, flying around the outside. That's fine. I'm happy with that. If I get a sense of how many individuals are in the house, then I'm gonna return, land back on the wagon and just await the others.
Okay.
And see if I can get a sense if they're coming up behind us, or if not, then at some point, are they nearby? Are they?
Yeah. So you guys are able to get safely and confidently within 30 feet of the building, without needing to do any additional stealth checks. If you get closer than 30 feet to the building yourselves, in normal form without taking any other precautions, then you risk being seen.
I'm going to come out of the wagon and join the group just to make that known.
Telepathically, I'd like to let him know I can turn us all invisible. We can assume different faces. How do you want to do this?
Is he talking to me while I'm still a bat? Can you do that?
No, I don't know. I don't know where you are or what you're doing.
I'm on top of the wagon. I'm a bat. No one's going to question a bat.
Hold up. Let's see. I don't see you.
Yeah. I don't see you. A tiny little bat that's not actually, usually bats dangle upside down. This one stood on top, waving its wings. No, it's a black bat
It's
against
night.
a black sky background. Nope, you can't see a thing. All right. So what are you guys going to do? How are you going to approach this? You know that there is a door right at the front, and there's windows.
Do we know if this is what's his face's house? Artir, what's his name? I'm terrible with names.
I presume you're talking to me in my brain, and I will respond in like kind. Menamisi Rebti.
Menamisi Repti. Is this his house?
I do not know. I have never met the fellow. But we know that the Viper was working for him.
Let's see if I know where Aaron is at. Do I have an idea where Aaron's at?
Yeah. I mean, well, it's a bat flying around.
Aaron, is that you? Telepathically.
Yeah.
Hey guys, that's Aaron.
Oh, he's
Did you see
adorable.
inside?
He's so cute.
Did you see inside?
I can. Yeah, it's a weird sense. And a bat, I've kind of got a different kind of vision. I see 4 individuals in the house at the moment.
Yeah, okay. You're a bat. You can't speak, even telepathically. You can't.
Really? I'm so mean.
You can as a bat, you can convey thoughts and feelings.
Those can be
convey
thoughts.
senses and ideas. You can't just straight up say there are 4 individuals. They're this, they're that. You can't be too specific as a bat with your thoughts.
Okay.
How about I ask if you saw inside, and then I'm going to use mind meld to pull one willing memory out of your brain.
Yeah, all right. Then I'll project weird bat vision to 4 individuals.
That's more thematic. That's fine. You can get the same information, but just not in Aaron's voice. Okay.
Sure. I have PTSD flashback of like echolocation stuff. That's kind of weird. And then I'm gonna thrust that into Artir's mind and have him go for a trip for a second.
Oh,
While you're doing all this, I know how many are in the house already, so.
I presume if the Viper, telepathically, I presume if the Viper was working for Rapti, and these individuals grabbed the wagon from the Viper and brought it to this house, and if the echolocation is true, It suggests that they are presenting the wagon to someone. So I would think that this is the residence of our target.
I don't even use telepathy. I just pick up my gun in the way you're all familiar with that communicates. So we're just going to shoot something, right? Like straight through the front door, right?
No. We would like to try to take away this Rapti fellow clandestinely if we can. That way we don't have to have a fight.
I put the gun down sad.
The three commoner individuals are slowly making their way towards the door. They're saying their farewells. Good night. And
Look,
they head towards the exit.
If that invisibility offer is still on the table, I think that's a good.
Did
At least.
anyone get the idea that these guys were just reporting and going home for the night?
All you got a sense of when you were looking around was that they were just reporting too. The fact that you guys can see and sense and hear that they're saying their farewells and going, about to leave, you know that they're going home.
Mm-hmm.
So since Artir asked for it, I give it invisibility, level 6. So that's
Okay.
me and 4 others.
Yeah.
Yep. So Aaron's bat. I don't need to worry about him.
Nope.
And Danrick's still hanging out in the cart, right?
No, I joined you guys. I'm with y'all.
Oh, you and
I
4
left the
others.
cart.
5 total. Yeah, we're good. Where's Jag?
Jag is he's in
He's a rug
he's
in the
nearby,
car.
but he's out of the way. Just kind of
All right.
let's keep him out of the way.
Sure.
So he's not in the
Although
wagon.
he's a random cat just strutting around. So do you have these cats here?
Giant jaguar-sized cats just wander around
They're
town.
big cats, you know.
Aaron's going to now up to the window,
Don't do that again.
the nearest window to where the noble lord is, and just hang upside down. Right, window there, he'd be here.
Okay, so you're outside the window. You haven't gone into it, right?
Yeah, I haven't gone into it. I'm outside on whatever, like, if there's like a overhang or anything.
Bits
on
of the roof, yep,
it.
absolutely.
I'm doing the traditional hang upside down stuff.
Okay.
Like you do.
I am Batman.
You like that?
All right. So what are you guys doing? These guys are about to step through the door. You're all going invisible as they step out. Let me just to remind myself of where Aaron is. He's there. Okay. All right. These 3 individuals walk over to the wagon and begin sorting through it. Thankfully, Danrick had gotten out previously. As they each claim 1 item. One grabs a candlestick, the other grabs a nice goblet, and one of them grabs a small painting.
We took all the items out. We put them on the ship.
Oh, you did? All right. In which case, they will go in, they'll go to claim their goods, see that it's empty, and run back
Telepathically.
inside.
Silence, jump them. Silence, jump them.
There's bigger fish to fry.
So they're about to run back inside. Are you guys going to stop them?
If I was gonna cast silence, I'm gonna do it. If not, nothing.
Silence.
Okay.
I'll cast
Jump 'em.
silence.
All right. We'll hold on for a second. Let me pull everyone's tokens into the map. Don't really worry about your position so much. Just simply, I'm pulling your tokens so that we can get a decent initiative order in here. Because this is going to have to happen with timing. Roll initiative.
And Aaron's out of this.
Okay, so I have Loic, Gamel, Danrick, Osrin, Artir. I think that's everyone. Okay, so top of the round. Osrin casts silence on the area. That's what triggers this. Done. The area around the wagon immediately goes silent. 20-foot radius area of silence. And in fact, courtesy of the Roll20 Marketplace, I got some new tokens.
Oh.
10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. So you cast silence and the area just immediately goes quiet. Loic, what are you doing?
This is like the one time in my entire life that I'm very sad to have gotten a crit on initiative. I'm not on board with this.
You don't have to do anything.
So I'm not going to do anything. I don't even know how to reserve an action, so...
Okay.
Pass.
Danric, are you going to do anything to stop these commoners running back inside and reporting the fact that the items are missing?
Probably, but I just wanted to check since we're invisible, if we take certain actions, will that visible us?
Yep.
Oh,
it will visible you.
Okay. In that case, Danric is not going to... Danric doesn't want these people to get shot dead, though. You know what? What did you say?
Gavel.
Yeah.
Gamel's not a monster. Yet. He hasn't hung out with Loic long enough.
All right. Well, Danric is going to... He's going to forsake his invisibility right now.
Yeah.
Because he's fully capable of sneaking around if he needs to, even though it's not ideal. And he can turn... I can play the bagpipes and go invisible if it's a problem. But I'm going to cast Sleep on the three of them.
You can play the bagpipes and go invisible.
Yeah,
Playing the
right.
bagpipes.
But you know what? It can. So, but I'm going to cast Sleep on the three commoners.
Okay.
Just to really try to get them, I'm going to cast it at level 2. So that'll be 78 hit points of sleepiness.
So go ahead and roll the sleepiness die. Okay. 28. Okay. Let me see what these have. Right. As you go to cast, you start throw out the spell. You go visible.
Yeah. And
as the magic takes hold, all three of them lull to a sleep.
Okay. And I just start...
But silently, because they're in a circle of silence.
Yeah. I sing a nice little lullaby to them, but they can't hear anything I'm singing. But it's very, very soothing.
Actually, that is a very good point. Does sleep require the target to be able to hear you?
Oh, no.
I didn't read that. Creatures within 20 feet. No, it doesn't say that. It just says creatures within 20 feet of a point you choose within range.
There we go.
All right. I want to make sure.
All fall asleep.
Great. And that lasts for for 1 minute, which isn't much time. But that can be enough for us to stall. So. And I'm going to move to go... Are there windows along this wall that's right in front of us?
Mm-hmm.
So are each of these little divots a window?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm just going to move into a little corner along the wall here, just so I'm kind of not right out of sight if people come out to see what happened where they left.
Okay. So with the sleep spell lasting for a minute, initiative order isn't so important right now. Gamel, you were getting ready to shoot, and they already drop.
Well, I was going to go tackle somebody and grapple them, but tying somebody up and throwing them in the cart would not count as an attack that would break invisibility, right?
It would 100% break your invisibility.
But where they're at right now isn't visible from the inside.
The door closed behind them. They
I'm
dropped.
just going to... All right, I'm going to run out and just just tie each of them up and gag them securely, and then put them all in the back of the cart, so they can't move anywhere, but they won't be making any noise or causing any ruckus.
Okay. With the aid of the silent spell that's still active there, you are able to go in, hog tie them, throw them in without making a single sound.
And I will stay just sitting on top of them in my full armor, just sitting there because I'm visible now, and so I'm just going to stay out of sight until the moment comes that I need to do something.
Okay. As you pick up the first of them and actually lift them to put them in the wagon, he wakes up as someone shakes or slaps the sleeper awake.
I'm just picking him up and moving him gently, like if you were, well, whatever.
Then,
your call.
what skill would you employ to ensure that you carefully pick them up without waking? Pick
Insight?
any of them. Nope.
I mean, it sounds like a sleight of hand check. It's like gently and carefully lift them. Either that, or I guess just a straight athletics check.
Okay, go ahead and roll an athletics check. You pick him up, begin turning to move. Whack! His head hits the side of the wagon.
What's your psychic focus on?
I don't have the one that lets me get advantage on athletics rolls, so it doesn't matter.
He wakes up. You're still within the silence area, so he's silent, but he is awake.
But he's gagged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I punch him in the face to knock him unconscious.
Go ahead and make an unarmed strike. So, D20, add your strength modifier. Okay. That will hit, as he is restrained and all of that. Actually, go ahead and roll it again, because technically you have advantage on the attack. Just in case you crit. Okay, 19. All right, so you whack unconscious. 0 hit.
End of the cart. Next person. We're gonna try to do this one quietly. Well,
Athletics.
quietly. It's all quiet technically.
This guy, as you try to pick him up, he doesn't wake up, but you accidentally nudged the third person, and he wakes up. So now you've got one person in your arms that is still asleep, and one person that's just woken up at your feet next to you, and he's going to start trying to shuffle and move himself around.
So I hold the one in my arms, and then I kick the one on the ground in the face to knock him unconscious.
Okay. Disadvantage cancelled with advantage 17. That will hit. Another one, clean unconscious.
All right, second one, put away gently. Third one that I knocked out, put him away a little less gently in the cart, sitting on top of all of them. Hoping I've amused my colleagues and comrades somewhat.
Okay. They've stabilized. You didn't kill them. That's good news.
It's great news.
Okay. So now they're in the cart. What are you guys doing with them?
Well, we set the cart on fire now, right? The logical next step, I think.
So I expect that they were on their way to bring things in. If they don't come in, then they will.
No, I thought they were on their way home, and they were just picking up their cut was one thing, and they were all going to go home. So no one's expecting them to come back. I don't think.
It's so-so. I mean, you guys didn't have quite enough detail.
Well, sure, that's what Gamble thinks. What Artier thinks could be equally good, but Gamble's going, no, this is fine. We're fine. No problem.
In the meantime,
I'll just wait here.
Can Aaron
You guys can.
what's going on inside?
Yeah, roll a perception check.
No.
Right,
That was in their double
that was
nature.
in their double nature check. So.
Good. We are almost complete with our acquisitions. A few more raids, and we will have more than enough supplies to finish the job. The Viper has worked out quite nicely for us, don't you think? Yes, sire, we do. It has been quite a fortuitous arrangement. It's more or less the entirety of the conversation, just over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Patting each other's backs.
More or less.
I guess is he talking to
all of his guards, who are just always answering in the affirmative? Yes, sir, of course. Of course. Yes, of course.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you guys are just stood outside the house.
Come on.
Do something. Or the world is going to explode. Do something, please.
So, either someone else will come out to investigate the wagon, or they will not. But we are in the right place.
I mean, are we going to wait till this guy goes to sleep and then bust into his bedroom and spirit him away?
We can. I mean, I would like to capture all the guilty parties, if there are more than one. If he tells us who the guilty parties are, this will make things easier. So if we do spirit him away, it cannot be far.
Aaron, you here? Right. It has been a long day. I will retire. We will look over our earnings in the morning. And he will go to his bedroom. And guards will position themselves around the house.
Right, the bat Aaron is going to then reposition himself. He's going to fly up to where he saw that private bed, James.
Okay.
So, we should either storm this place right now, because we know. Do we know anything? We know
Aaron is the one that knows he's going to bed.
Yeah, we don't know that.
Aaron is the only one that can confirm that to you. You guys will sit outside for about an hour before you start getting the idea that maybe no one else is coming out tonight.
And the visibility is worn off if that is the case.
Yeah. At that point, the lights will go to sleep. You would have to focus in on your primeval awareness again, get another shot. Yes, they've moved. He is now prone. The leader of the house is prone.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So what are you guys doing?
So we've said enough time has passed now where we presume he's sleeping. Is the assumption that I'm making.
How big are the windows to that chamber?
Sorry,
1 foot
Aaron,
by 1 foot. That's it. You can't fit
1
through.
foot.
Polymorph only lasts an hour. Is that correct?
So, yeah.
How long within the hour does it take before he goes to bed? And in your mind,
from the time that you turned into a bat, 45 minutes into the hour. 20 minutes were spent just getting to the house. The other 25 minutes were the interactions going on. He then goes to bed. He'll fall asleep. He's a very he can fall asleep very easily, so he goes to sleep within those 15 minutes. Does faff about taking off all of his jewelry and equipment, and that's, if you watch, that's your prerogative. And then he goes to sleep.
Thoughts? We sneak around the back of the house.
I
We
want
just
to make
bust
sure
in the
he's
back
not got any
door.
hidden weapons.
We just sneak up. We sneak in the back door, bust in, and then we guard off that door so the guards can't come in, and then just make off with the guy.
We need to wait for Aaron to come back and tell us what he has discovered.
Fair enough. Could be booby trapped.
Jeez.
Aaron, all right. So as soon as you go to the bedroom, he's then going to do another loop around the house to get another perimeter check, and hopefully the guys will see me.
Yep, they'll see you. If you make yourself obvious, they'll see you.
Yeah. and then I'm going to try and lead them round to the side of the house, like circle and then go around and see if anybody will follow me.
Which side?
To the bedroom side, north side.
Okay.
Dadrick, what are you doing, madman?
Just casually walking into the house.
I'm creating a distraction for everyone. I just walk in singing, and they're all like, "Whoa, what's this? Free entertainment? It's perfect." And then they all listen to me.
So how high are these windows for the bedroom, or is it you can get in?
The top of the window is 9 foot off the floor. The ceiling of the room is 10 foot off the floor. They are 1 foot by 1 foot windows. I doubt you'll be able to fit through them. Danrick might.
So I can peek in.
Yeah.
Who's got big, strong, broad shoulders for me?
Oh, that's me. Okay, I can do this.
Okay.
Well,
You get a little boost.
Yeah, I want to see what I can see.
Yeah, Aaron's sort of hanging by the window, going, sort of rocking, looking. That's my only indication.
You see Menemisi Rapti, or at least who you can assume to be him, the Lord of the Manor, asleep in a rather large, comfortable 4-poster bed. Curtains have been drawn, but the curtains are more like fly curtains than actual curtains, just to keep bugs out of you while you're asleep. No guards inside his room.
Are there any doors, or are these doors open? Or are they just open?
There is one
spaces?
door. Everything else is a window, except for this spot, which is a private door, iron door, in the back, and the wooden door at the front.
Does the iron door lead to the outside?
Yes. It is a second exit to the house that leads
Guys.
directly from his house, his room.
I wanna pick the lock. Unless someone can do it better than me. But if we can just pick that lock and go in and just grab the guy, we don't have to fight at all.
Wait.
Nice.
I think Aaron's trying to tell us something. If
You guys I can't recall if you guys have ever seen me use my theatre tools. I don't think you have.
Do you want to come back to being a human?
By now, your polymorph's going to run out.
It would be helpful.
I kind of want to be inside the room.
Then go fly inside the room.
I'm going to be inside the room.
Okay, not hearing any objection, and
Wait,
not knowing if
wait.
anyone else who has any thieves tools, I'm gonna go give it a shot.
Gamble, wait.
I'm going to be by that door. I'm going to land and slowly form into myself and try and be stealthy about it.
Okay. Aaron flies through the window as his small bat-like form can fit. The moment he crosses over the threshold, a flash of light, Aaron disappears.
Oh, shit.
Danrick, what do you see?
Well,
Okay.
he has a very good taste in decoration. His bed looks phenomenal.
To be
Very
expected. To
cozy.
be expected.
If we get a chance to sleep, we should try to sleep in his room.
Oh, you're saying he's asleep.
Also, yes, he is asleep. Also, Aaron just disappeared.
Oh.
There's a steel door that leads to the outside. We saw it when we came by. That leads into his place.
Yeah. What
and
about
there's a
that?
wood-
What did you say about Aaron? Come again. Say.
So he flew inside, and it flashed really bright, and then he disappeared. I don't think anyone noticed inside, so we're still good. There's a wooden door. that leads to the
Menemisi
rest
is
of the-
waking up.
He's waking up right now. I don't know.
I'm
if
gonna try to
he
pick the
knows
lock
I'm here.
right now.
I'm
Okay.
gonna hide.
Go ahead and roll a thieves' tools check, and if you don't have a set of thieves' tools, a sleight of hand check.
Well, I do have my jeweler's tools and my tinker's tools.
Now,
Right.
Tinker's tools will help you take the lock off the door, which could work. Okay. You jiggle the handle, and you mess with the lock a little bit. You do hear the familiar click, and you are through. The door opens. Do you enter?
Do I notice
Oh.
Menemisi reacting to this?
Yes, he's sitting up and looking around the house, and then he looks over to where his door now.
I I'm gonna rush and tackle him and just try to like muffle his mouth so he can't scream or anything, and just like half Nelson, like choke lock, like get him into a chokehold. Just try to keep him quiet.
Yeah, but I can cast silence on him if you need me to. Do you need me
I
to?
disappeared. It doesn't matter. I'm gone.
You're already in. All right.
Disappeared. What are the rest of you doing as you see that Aaron and Gamel have both disappeared? Now, Menamisi, looking around the room desperately, runs over to the door, closes it, locks it again.
Must have been the wind.
Yell down. Gamel
Do me and
also
Gamel know?
disappeared.
Are we in the same place?
Yes. So we will deal with you two once I know how many more of the party are going to rush and disappear.
Well, the best way to reunite the party if we all know we're going to disappear. So I say we charge in.
No, just
Okay.
wait till he calms down, goes back to sleep, and then I'll figure out where they went. I just need to
Okay.
inspect it.
Okay.
Okay.
Stealth checks from the four of you, as he is aware that someone is trying to get into his house. A 14 from Danrik, a 19 from Loic, a 22 from Artir, and a 30 from Osrin. Okay, Danrik, I'm assuming you're still head through the window? Looking.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess Danrik is too busy admiring to be as stealthy as he usually is right now.
Okay. So while everyone very quietly seeing Aaron disappear, then Gamel run through the door and also disappear in a flash of light, you back up away from the house. Get a little bit away so that you can get a better vantage point on the situation. No one told Danrik that this is what you're doing. So Danrik is still dangling from the window right now as he was using Artir to hold himself up. Danrik, you can hear quite clearly. Guards, come in here. Someone just entered my house. Fools, didn't know anything about me. But we can't take any chances. Go, secure the goods. And do a perimeter search. Find anyone that's around here. So, a group of them will start looking around. They'll go to the cart, see that it's filled with the bodies of those that have been guards.
The live bodies of them, not
Yep.
the dead bodies. They
The
should
live
appreciate
bodies. But 4 guards will do patrols 2 by 2 around the house. Loic, Artir, and Osrin, you guys are off the map. Didn't kind of expect you to be up here, so I didn't prepare that. But Danrik is still dangling down as they see him quite clearly. Oh, hi, guys, kind of situation. I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
Everyone, including Aaron and Gamel, or just people on this plane of existence?
You two are still on the plane of existence, and while they're rolling initiative, I will briefly explain your situation. So, Aaron, you flew through. Next thing you know, with a flash of light, you hit stone. You whack against the stone, fall flat to the floor. You reassert your senses, brush yourself off, realize you're not a bat anymore. You're you. Hang on a second. My armor is gone. Everything that was magical on me is now missing. I am alone in a stone chamber with statues all around me. Where am I? What's going on? Whack! You get tackled by Gamel, who is also not wearing his armor. Any magical item that's on him is no longer on his person. You guys alone in this catacomb situation. Okay? So
Just my magical item? Oh, no.
everything magical that's on you is gone.
That means everything's gone.
Yeah, that's everything is gone. So, Loic, Osrin, Danrik, and Artir, you are all in there. Let me see which ones I have rolled initiative for. I've got one more I need to roll. All right. So, Loic, Artir, and Darzarin, we're going to play fast and loose with your distance. You're within 60, 90 foot. You're close. You're within range of your skills, but also far enough away that you are hidden. And with you, Artir, you can easily move in with one move action. You don't need to dash or anything like that. You are close enough that you can engage. So, top of the round, as these guys come around the corner, all four of them square on Danrik. Artir, what do you do?
So I get the impression that they see Danrik and they mean to apprehend him.
Absolutely.
What do they look like?
In fact, one of them already sees, you can already see one of the guards pull out a pair of manacles. They're not intent on killing, they're intent on imprisoning. All heavily armored individuals, generic guard-like situations, similar garb, bright red cape with a symbol on it which is similar to the coat of arms of Menemisi Rabdi. These are his personal guard. Heavy plate armor.
I do want to ask just quickly, would it have been reasonable, and if not, that's fine, for when Danrik noticed them moving in there to have let go?
Yeah, so you're on the floor.
Okay.
But
Wait,
you
on
weren't
the
able
floor
to.
or on, like, landed?
Yeah, you landed. You're fine.
Okay.
You just weren't able to stealth quickly enough to not be seen.
Yeah.
So,
Artir, what you doing?
Okay. Did they see him land? Or do they see that there's just a little man? Well, no, little man, because he's not seamed.
Yep.
A little man standing at the side of the house.
They saw him stood at the side of the house.
Okay,
So-
the guy... all right, so I'm going to put on a convincing display. There you are! I've been looking all over for you! Geez, why would you run up to Menemisi's house? This isn't our house. We live yonder. Let us retire for the evening. I don't know why you would come here. This is silly of you. And I walk up casually, friendly. Like.
Are you pulling a go home, Steve? You're drunk.
Okay.
If I could get a nickel for every time that's happened.
Either roll me a deception or a performance. Your choice.
So I will, with the inspiration that I got from dining, I will use my inspiration and roll deception with advantage.
Okay. A 30. One of the guards immediately approaches you. Hey. You two are new around here.
We are traveling performers. I do a dance. Maybe you've heard of Danrik and Aaron the dancer. We are a duo. We usually perform up in the north because we are exotic up there, obviously. Danrik is a mighty musician. He might have had one or too many to drink. So, sorry if we've caused any ruckus out here. We didn't know, we don't know who's sleeping where or whatever. So we're just gonna head back to our tent.
Where are you staying?
At the tent.
And where's your tent?
It's next to, the... Okay, so I go beside him and I say, I think... And I hiccup like I'm drunk. I think if you go down these 3 tents, and then you take a right, and then there's the dog, the barking dog? You take a left at the barking dog, and I hiccup again. And then I stop like I'm going to throw up. And then you go a little bit further to that tent over there. That's where we're staying.
Roll one more deception check, also with advantage. It's still part of the same situation, so I'll let you have that. 27. Okay. All right, but we'll be watching you, and we'll want to speak to you at first light.
Okay, we'll be here. We're not going anywhere. We're here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitress.
All right. And one of them roughly walks up to Danrik and starts shoving him away. Get out of here. Filthy little creature. Get out of here.
This is uncalled for and discriminatory.
Don't make me shut you up, boy.
No, come on, Danrik. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Okay, friend. Big friend.
Okay, so you back up. We can ignore the initiative order as the four of you can clearly pass away, but they are watching you. Well done. Well done. All right. Well, let me move them back in. So, Aaron and Gamel, because I'm assuming no one else is going to go inside. Let me shift you two over.
So, Aaron, do you have dark vision?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any light in here, or is it just the...
There is no light in here, so you rely on your own personal dark vision. Do you have dark vision, Gamel?
I do.
You do. Okay, so the two of you can see shades of grey. Thankfully, you're in a stone room, so it's just grey. Looking around, there is a huge pillar that you had smacked into that is right in the center of this area, and then the pathway splits off into three ways. Flanking each of the pathways are statues. Big, huge stone statues all around.
Now, before we go further, all of our magical gear is missing, but we still have our mundane gear, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything mundane. Now, your gun has been so heavily modified.
Oh, no, that gun's
registers
gone.
as magical.
That gun is gone. I'm thinking more like my pistol.
Since your pistol was not modified, it's still there. However, all of your magical ammo
is gone. So I have what's in the pistol. I have 4 rounds, basically.
That's it.
Cool. Well, hey, Aaron, do you know what this is about? I'll take that as a no, and I'll just start exploring the walls, minding that with my dwarven trait, I should get an advantage to see if there's any hidden chambers or anything special about the stonework.
Okay. Roll an investigation check as you begin just messing with the stone, pushing where you can, and moving around.
Yeah, Aaron's going to just take a quick look around.
Just real quick, Carl, for the sake of the stream, how does that screen look? Good?
I see them, and I see shadows being cast as Gamel moves around. So I think that's
Okay.
great.
Cool. All right. So you tap around. You don't really see or sense anything untoward. You do all notice
Can I go look at the
that...
stone statues?
Yeah. Perception checks from all of you, and I'll take your passives. Aaron, is your passive really a 21?
Yeah.
Yep, okay, cool. But you guys roll higher than that anyway. All right. There are, as you guys explore around this tiny little tunnel, it loops itself back around. There are 6 statues, all of which face with their back to the corner, keeping watch on the entire area, except for one. One of them has clearly been turned around.
Is that the one by me?
That is the one by you. It is facing away. Each of these statues looks like a artisan, someone with a clipboard pointing as he commands the area. Knowing what you know about Menamisi, being an architect that wanted to set up everything, it's obviously a vain thing of him pointing away, all of which are pointing inside. This one has its finger touching the wall.
Should we turn this statue around and see if it does anything?
Is it pointing at something on the wall?
Just pointing at the corner.
How big are these things? Is this like a statue that's going to be so big no one person could move them, or could we like muscle it around?
It's human size. It is pure stone. You, with your knowledge of stonework, this is some pretty hefty and solid stone. So the two of you together could do it.
I'm going to look around at the other statues. Are they identical?
All of them are identical.
So all of them are pointing to various locations in the room. Well, can I get a sense of where they're all pointing to? Are they all pointing to different to pointing to corners in the room?
They're all pointing away from the wall that they're sat in. So it's like they're keeping a guard over the area in front of them. All of them have backs to the wall, except for the one in the top left corner.
I'm going to start messing with that one, like messing with the wall, and then if nothing's on the wall, maybe moving the statue a bit.
So while Gamel is messing with the wall, you know what, just to make things a little bit easier and clearer, I'll get rid of that. You know there's a pillar there and it's blocking your line of sight. Erin, you were, as Gamel was messing with the pillar, you were actually at the bottom of the room.
Yeah,
your passive perception and your 22, you're able to notice that the wall here is slightly different, slightly offset. The stonework, normally just heavy brick, turns into heavy brick, archway of brick, heavy brick. So there's clearly an archway here, making it look like there was once a doorway that has been closed off. Gamel, you fiddle about with the stone statue. I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw. Okay. You save, you're fine. You take 20 points of lightning damage. And you swear you hear a maniacal laughter.
Aaron's going to run back. Don't touch anything. In the biggest Loic impression that he can give. Okay, after hearing the laughter, I'm going to spend a minute trying to sense fiends, and then another minute trying to sense monstrosities nearby.
Nothing anywhere near you of those two types.
Okay.
Okay.
There's nothing nearby. nothing fiendish. I'm going to go back. Come and have a look at this archway. I'm going to come back. Is there any kind of runes or anything inscribed in the archway? Or is it just kind of do an investigation on that?
Do an investigation check.
While he's doing that, I'm going to cast Bestial Form on myself and give myself a +2 bonus to AC for an hour.
Okay. Sounds good. So, Aaron, on surface value, from looking at it, you don't see anything. You begin tentatively rubbing at the stone very carefully because you know that Gamel just got shocked, so you just double check. Yeah. You're getting rid of, there is some dust that you're able to blow away. Mm-hmm. So you start scrubbing it and moving it out of the way. You don't get shocked when you touch it, and you pass. The archway, every single stone within this archway has a different sigil or symbol carved into it, all of which are about an inch deep. They're a mismatch of a lot of different types of magic. Go ahead and make an Arcana check. See what you know about magic.
Loic's. Oh, the other way around. Loic's failing me as a teacher.
Failing him as a student.
Gamel's fidgeting with the statue again. Just heads up.
You touching it again?
I'm gonna try to tear it down.
Okay, I need another Constitution saving throw as you grab it again.
Oh my God, stubborn dwarves.
Okay, you take another 20 points of lightning damage as you successfully grab hold of it. It shudders through your body. It is tough. If you're trying to smash it and damage it, roll an athletics check.
All right.
Now, I just want to reflect on failed solo missions with Aaron and Gamel in the past. With digging into dangerous situations, just reflecting.
The last time I died was the only time I died was alone with Aaron. All right.
You get shocked back and thrown prone. You're unable to give the right amount of force needed to pull it down. This is one tough cookie.
Aaron's going to fall back.
The worst part, most of my
some
mundane
runes,
gear.
I could use some help in deciphering these. We can destroy that in a second if that doesn't go.
I've got little smoke curling off my hair.
Yeah. Have you lost the hair that you just grown back?
Okay. Right, I'll come take a look.
I need you to roll an Arcana check.
Is this lightning damage, Aaron?
This is lightning damage.
I'm actually wearing a ring of lightning resistance.
No, you're not.
Oh, that's right. Dang it. Never mind.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to check out the runes.
Okay. Roll an Arcana check as you investigate these runes. Okay. With a 10, you're able to understand at least that this is some form of command panel of sorts. As you begin testing and feeling the arcane natures within the sigils, you get a sense that they will trigger. It's like flipping a switch almost. And if you were to get the right sort of combination, you could flip the switch correctly. Adversely, flip the switch wrong, feedback.
All right. Did Aaron get any sense before he started dusting these things away that some of them had already been pressed?
No.
Okay.
Not with your investigation check as it was.
Okay.
As you were looking around. So what are you guys going to do?
I think
Let's take a moment to Gamel, hearing Aaron's complaints about the stubborn, obstinate dwarf, rather than just start pushing buttons. Gamel will try to take a moment to look at it, look at the stone, look at the sigils, see if it's like a number pad where certain numbers have been worn down more than others.
Okay. Straight up intelligence check to see if you can figure that kind of thing out. That's a save. Do you have a...
Oh, sorry.
Well, it would be the same thing, really.
Yes.
You've got a 0 modifier. This is not a territory you're used to. You're not used to magic. You touch upon an arcane nature often, but not magic.
Aaron, if you don't have a better idea, I'm just going to start punching buttons. I don't like being stuck down here.
As Gamel goes
did you
to
do any
push one
damage
of
to,
them,
Did you do any damage to the statue?
No. I mean,
Wait.
I showed it what for. He's not going to be coming over here anytime soon. He's going to keep his distance and stay in that corner because he learned what's what.
while you guys are deliberating...
Why are you content on destroying it?
Well, I messed with the wall and didn't find anything. I tried to move him, and that didn't work.
You think
It
that's
seemed out of place. I thought I'd just fiddle with it.
We're going to pass over at this point, give you guys a chance to think as we zoom across to the rest of the party. I will generally just move you to... let's go to this one. So, Aaron isn't there, Gamel isn't there, none of this is there.
That was a close one.
Hey,
That was very clever.
exactly how attached to your husband are you? I mean, you've already spawned, so done with him, right? We can just...
Pretty attached. Yeah. I know what you're thinking, like. But we need to
hopefully you
get
don't
back.
blame me.
Well, yeah.
Don't worry, I won't tell him.
Don't tell him.
Osmond, can you just walk around everywhere like an Aaron radar until you detect his the presence of a lost humanoid?
With my awareness, not with my wife skills.
Not sure which is stronger at this point. All right. If you spend a minute on your primeval awareness, your primeval awareness has a 5-mile radius, right?
Yeah.
So you're pretty confident you could get the entirety of Castle Tethir within this area. It's only a small little homestead. You push out your awareness. Same amount of people in Menemisi's house with the 3 outside. Everyone else, similar, same. About a mile below you.
Right.
2 humanoids, medium size, moving around. One falls over. Okay.
Right, so guys, I think I might know where they are,
Impressive.
but I don't know how we're gonna get down there.
How far down is down?
Around
Exactly.
a mile.
Good Lord, how did okay, I guess that was a portal.
One of them's been on the floor, so either Gamel's head by Sync or Aaron's flown in Sync. I don't know, but they're both down there.
Loic, are you still able to get me into a person's dreams? Not today.
I, however, may be capable of, and this would, I'm getting a little bit tired at this point, but I can turn us all into guards, into personal guards.
To make us appear like his guards?
Yeah, I got a real good look at him.
Well, the thing is, they have some sort of... They are able to enter that room while we are not. We have to find out how it is that they are able to move and we are not. Do you have any ideas?
The guards didn't come in or out of the back door, did they?
No, none of the guards came out the back door. They made a point to go out the front and then circle around outside the house. But the back door and the window triggered it. I mean, Aaron flew through the window as a bat.
There's a chance that I might not be able to do it with what I got left, but I might be able to dispel whatever is on the door. And we can walk through it.
Seems like a honeypot. It is designed for people to come into and be ensnared by the trap.
Yep.
Is there not any other way in the house and down? Because those other people walked in, walked out, all fine. I'm just wondering if it is just this one room that's causing it. Might be able to go into another point of the house and find a way down.
Well, that's why I was suggesting turning us into guards, is that we'd be able to walk around and investigate.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have to get in the house either to find a way to get down or to talk to this Rapti fellow and see if we can negotiate the release of our allies. So I think, yes, we do have to get in. If disguising ourselves as guards is the best way, I do not have an alternative plan.
Okay.
Well,
and then you go.
No, I was thinking if the guards think that we are here as traveling performers and they're going to be looking out for us in the morning, we might be able to just use that to get in. We can try to talk them into letting us do a show for their lord. And then we'll get in if there's a way in. It might not be successful.
Only you two would be able to pull that off, if anybody, I feel.
Hey, you know what? But we might be able to.
I don't know,
You could be our manager.
They seemed very off-put by us when we left. I do not know.
When people are as good-looking as we are, it can be off-putting. I understand that. You know, I'm sure you're used to it too.
I believe that there is some sketchiness going on around here that they will not want to draw attention to, and so they're trying to keep people far, far away, no matter what their cause for drawing near is.
Fair enough.
If there are only a handful of guards, disguising ourselves might not be effective. They may know all of each other.
Did anyone get a look inside besides Aaron?
Danric got a pretty good look inside.
I didn't get to see any of the guards, though.
In the bedroom.
I was just in seeing him in Menemisi's room, so I didn't get a chance to see what they all looked like while they were in there. So I don't know if I can help with that.
Don't know whether or not they're the stoic type or not.
All I know is that Menemisi was the sleepy type.
Okay. Well, then we can be guards, and if it doesn't work, I mean, we did our best to be stealthy and peaceful, but if we have to use violence, this is a thing that I am capable of.
Okay.
And
as
do we
you-
want to take a moment's breather before we go in there? Because it might be if they all descend upon us at once, if things go bad, I am out of my chain lightning abilities and things of that nature.
If we think that the others will be safe for the night, we can probably sleep. I'm getting sleepy too. Seeing that bed was just teasing me.
I do not know if our friends have eight entire hours. If they were zapped away somewhere, they may be in peril.
Yeah, I was just asking for an hour, if possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you guys thinking about this, making your plans, and deciding how you're going to enter into Menemisi's home, we're going to take a 15-minute break. Now, for those watching the stream right now, during the 15 minutes, if you guys can come up with ideas of yourself of what it is that's causing our heroes to magically teleport somewhere else, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. All right, see you all in 15.
Hey everybody, we are cutting the game short today. Personal issues. Tune in next week for one shot DM'd by our very own Steven, running a game in the Star Wars universe using the Saga Edition rules. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.